Thank you. I'd very much like to thank Nicolet College for this opportunity. And as was just mentioned, in keeping with today's theme of how rural communities thrive in the 21st century, I'd like to discuss how grassroots volunteer initiatives can really make a big difference and help rural communities thrive. I'd like to use the Vilas County Economic Development Corporation, or VCEDC, as an example. And the VCEDC is really become a force in the North Woods in general, and particularly in Vilas County, in really making things happen, as you can see by the quote. So who or what is the VCEDC? Well, we're a 501c3 nonprofit economic development corporation or organization. We're a little different than most EDOs or economic development organizations in that we have a volunteer working board. We have a wide degree of diversity on our board, both geographic around the county, gender, of course. We have representation on our board from the Lac du Flambeau tribe. We've been very fortunate over the last few years to be able to attract several millennials to our board, which have brought a real new and fresh perspective, which has been very helpful to us. Conversely, having more experience on the board has been very, very helpful to them. And very, very importantly, we've got a wide diversity in skills and experience. We have a retired CEO of a global corporation. We have a banker, a CPA, financial planning expertise, marketing. We have an entrepreneur that does website development across the whole United States. We have a consulting company CEO that has a worldwide consulting practice around corporate security, and on and on. We have a PhD research scientist, and on more and more. So whatever skills any of our businesses or potential businesses might need, we have a real diversity that we can really address their needs. And we've really got a passion for the North Woods and improving the quality of life here, and we've taken a real ownership of our future. We have a real passionate organization. We're fortunate to have a very outstanding executive director, Kathy Schmitz, who joined us just about 2 years ago. And we have a very modest budget. However, we're getting much better at identifying and qualifying for usage-specific grants. And we're going to talk more in a few minutes about the impact that has had on our ability to improve things here in Vilas County. And finally, we have a vision for the future that leverages Vilas County's strengths. Let's step back a second. Let's look at what Vilas County doesn't have. We don't have any interstate highways. We don't have a commercial airport in our county, within our county. We don't have even a mile of railroad track. And we have very little, quote, traditional industry in Vilas County. Our largest private employer is a sawmill and building products company that employs just over 100 people. So our approach is to leverage our strengths, what do we have? Vilas County has one of the densest concentrations of freshwater lakes and streams literally in the world. We have a pristine North Woods environment. In fact, 43% of Vilas County is open to the public in the form of either county, state, or federal forest lands. 16% of our county is water. And so we offer a unique, phenomenal North Woods environment and experience and lifestyle. Our economy is built primarily on tourism, and we're well known as a premier tourist destination. We're going to show you as we go through this discussion on how we are working to also become a preferred destination for year-round living and working in the North Woods. So we're taking this one entrepreneur, one remote worker at a time. It's a modest approach, but if you have the environment that we have, the strategy we've laid out really leverages those strengths. And finally, we're working to take our contribution into the next level, and we'll go into that momentarily as well. And that's our mission, to build a resilient North Woods economy and in the process, improve our quality of life. So what do we do? How are we doing this? Well, first and foremost, We have a whole series of pro bono services that we offer in the process of business planning, financial options, and helping businesses obtain financing, marketing expertise, social media. Literally, as I mentioned, based on the diversity of our board, anything that a local business or potential business might need, we can offer. And we do this at no charge. We also offer other kinds of services for getting started in terms of helping businesses get licensing, permits, whatever. And finally, helping them get connected quickly to the community. Now, these are things that a small business or a potential new business might be able to do over time on their own. Our philosophy and our strategy is to be very proactive and to help them fast path the process by really getting them what they need quickly so that they can, if they're a new business, get past the startup phase very quickly and get to profitability as fast as is humanly possible. We're very proactive in the way we do this. I'll give you some examples of this momentarily. And the whole point is to make Vilas County a very welcoming place to do business and to make it easy to do business here. And so how do we do this? So first of all, in addition to all of those services that we offer to existing or potential new businesses, we're also targeting outreach to bring new business in the form of entrepreneurs, remote workers, and expanding businesses to Vilas County. We started a paid social media and through a Google grant targeted campaign in February of 2020, February of last year, a month before the pandemic hit. And then when the pandemic hit, we saw a great influx of people moving, some temporarily to their vacation homes to work here, but a significant increase of people moving here permanently to live and work in the North Woods. This really validated that our strategy was on target. A strategy, again, designed to leverage our strengths and to mitigate the things that we don't have. Once we launched this campaign and had validation through what we were seeing in the pandemic, we also were able to obtain a use-specific grant, which we launched a phase 2 of this campaign in November of last year with increased funding, and we were able to actually leverage paid Google advertising, which allowed us to use things like video, which we weren't with the Google grant, and to leverage Google Analytics, which allowed us to target much more precisely our audience. And I'll share in just a few minutes the terrific results that we're getting from this. We also launched a statewide public relations campaign. We'll share more about the results of that in a minute. And we're working with downstate media, both radio and print media. And because broadband is foundational to the future of Vilas County and the success in the future of being able to attract the audience that we're reaching out to, in March of last year, we launched an initiative across Vilas County to provide leadership to improve broadband throughout the county. We're working closely with our townships and the Lac du Flambeau tribe to really improve this, and this is, again, foundational to everything else we're doing. So what are we doing in that regard? Well, we formed a work group within our team, which is comprised of myself, Kathy, our executive director, 2 of our professional volunteers, Jonathan Sharp and Mike Dunning, who is the director of IT for Vilas County. Jonathan is a remote worker working for a high-tech company in Silicon Valley, and Bill Niemuth, who leads our team, and Bill has a wealth of experience in broadband. We didn't think that we were going to be providing household by household support, but in fact we are, because we get calls every week from people who say, I don't have the broadband I need, can you help me get broadband? And leveraging the relationships we have with internet service providers that serve Vilas County, in many cases we've been able to help them improve their service. And we also have assigned ourselves as broadband buddies to our townships and to the tribe to provide one-on-one support. And as a result, we've been a catalyst for most of our townships creating their own broadband work groups, and we're working closely with them to develop strategies that make sense for their community. We have 6 or 7 different internet service providers providing service to Vilas County. And so a one-size-fits-all approach across the whole county really doesn't work for us. We really need to work individually with each community to identify what strategy and implementation approach will work best for them. Jonathan Sharp has been in the Starlink beta program since last November. He's one of the first, and he's published extensively on our website highlighting how to order, how to implement the technology. He's got photos, explanations of how to make it all work, and explanations of the experience that he's had, which has been really phenomenal, by the way. And finally, we're in frequent ongoing discussions with the internet service providers, with our townships, and particularly around the Rural Digital Opportunity Fund rollout, which is a federal program across the United States that will bring $40 million to Vilas County over the next 10-year time frame. And we're working closely with the 2 internet service providers that participate in that for Vilas County to ease the rollout and get them connected to our townships to make that as seamless as possible. And finally, we've developed our objectives for this year and are executing on those. Most recently, we completed the first phase of a broadband study and survey, and have now over 1,400 responses, address level data on which internet service providers are being used, what the download and upload speeds are. And so we've got much more detailed data than we've ever had before around the status of broadband in Vilas County. And we're gearing up for phase 2 of that survey, which will launch in the first quarter. We're going to talk about results momentarily, but I think as another proof point, if our townships see the dedicated time and the value that we're delivering to them in terms of expertise and support, that they think we're somehow being paid for what we're doing, I think that says we're on the right track. So, results. First of all, when the pandemic hit, we took a leadership role in providing support to our area businesses in Vilas County in the form of webinars, which we held 6 different informational webinars, ongoing email support in terms of new information about grants and how to apply for them. We put a landing page on our website with information about how all of the support was coming down from the state and federal government. And we provided extensive one-on-one support to businesses to help them actually apply for grants and to submit them. Net result being that last year over $700,000 in grant funding came to Vilas County businesses. And this year with a new grant program and with Jim Rosenberg's help, we've got currently 7 different businesses that we're working with on a new $10,000 grant for businesses that apply and open up businesses in a heretofore empty storefront. We've got $70,000 worth of grant opportunity there. Actually, 4 of those grants have already been approved, and we expect to see the remaining 3 approved as well. So we're continuing to focus on this and bring grant funding to Vilas County. Over the last 15, 16 months, we've engaged with 25 different businesses, either existing businesses to help them improve, potential new businesses, or businesses from outside of the county to attract them here. Net result, of course, not all of these pan out, and not all of them should. Sometimes an idea that sounds great, once you go through the business plan, really doesn't look so good in terms of profitability when you map out the numbers. And it's much better to identify this up front than to actually take out a second mortgage on your home and then find out 2 years later that the business really doesn't work. So out of the 25 engagements, we have 7 businesses that we've either helped improve or launch a new business in Vilas County. Couple quick examples about that. One retailer in Eagle River actually was about to go out of business. Kathy Schmitz, our executive director, got involved, brought in a board member with business planning expertise, worked with that business owner, helped them sort through the problems they were having, and work with their employees. And the net result is that business is now thriving. And if you walk by, their business is full of people on a day-to-day basis. Another, albeit modest example, but it's kind of fun. We have a resident in the county whose passion and whose hobby is dog sledding in the wintertime, dog mushing. And she decided to turn that into a seasonal business. Kathy Schmitz got her engaged with a reporter from downstate. The reporter came up and experienced dog sledding last winter, went back and resulted in a feature article in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, and literally within a week, the phone was ringing off the hook, and she literally booked her business solid through the rest of the winter and had to stop taking reservations. So this is an example of us taking a really proactive approach, a creative approach, and really helping businesses drive to profitability beyond what they might be able to do on their own. We've invested over 900 hours in the last, well, since March of last year, helping our townships and working with the Lac du Flambeau tribe and working with the internet service providers. As a matter of fact, last night we held our most recent Zoom meeting with the townships to bring them up to date on the latest information on the Rural Digital Opportunity Fund and the rollout, particularly with one of our two internet service providers that are participating in that program. And that's an ongoing commitment that we have to them to make it easier for them to develop and implement their own strategies. Our advertising outreach is getting terrific results. For instance, web traffic on our entrepreneur website is up over 400% since we launched in November, this phase 2 of the campaign in November of last year compared to the previous time frame. Traffic coming to us from Facebook is up almost 300%. Targeting our key metro areas, traffic from Chicago is up over 200%. From Milwaukee is up 450%, literally. And we've newly started targeting Madison and the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Madison is up over 150%. And albeit from ramping up off smaller numbers, the Twin Cities is up almost 800%. In terms of traffic to our website and to the landing pages for entrepreneurs and remote workers and expanding businesses. So we're clearly engaging with our target audiences, and they're spending time getting to know what's going on in Vilas County. Our statewide Live and Work publicity campaign has also paid off handsomely. In the last 12 months, 11 months actually, we've had 3 feature articles in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. 2 of them were on the front page feature on the Green Bay Gazette, 2 feature articles with Wisconsin Public Radio, 1 from Minnesota Public Radio, and a feature in public broadcasting highlighting Vilas County and the rollout of broadband in Vilas County. As a matter of fact, we're taking this to a new level, and yesterday afternoon we received confirmation. The date isn't set yet, but sometime in the first 2 weeks in November, we expect to be part of a nationwide panel with a nationwide media exposure featuring small communities with what they're doing to improve broadband. So Vilas County and the VCEDC will be featured in that with now nationwide visibility. And finally, we're very appreciative that we've had also local media collaboration, both TV, radio, and print. And they've been a big help in really helping the local community get educated on what we're doing to improve particularly broadband in the North Woods. So our priorities, what are we going to do moving forward? Well, we're certainly going to continue the day-to-day support that we offer business and potential business to help them thrive. And secondarily, at least for the foreseeable future, at least the next couple of years, until we really see this take off on its own, we're going to continue to lead our broadband initiative as it rolls out through Vilas County. We're going to continue to put Vilas County on the map as a paradise to work and live in. We're going to do that through our paid advertising, social media, and improving web presence. We've radically improved our web experience about 3 different times in the last 2 years. Most recently with a complete lifestyle section featuring the lifestyle in the North Woods and what it's like to live and work here full-time. As one of our board members likes to point out, people pay thousands of dollars to spend a week or 2 here on vacation, and we get to live here year-round. And so that's really what we're featuring and promoting. And finally, of course, we're going to continue with this statewide PR campaign, and as I mentioned, we're now fortunately being able to take this national. We're really focused on providing a welcoming environment for business and building a community in the North Woods, couple quick examples. We've had 2 virtual meetups for remote workers. We're going to have another one here in the 4th quarter, and this has been very well received. And we're currently in the midst of a 4-part virtual series featuring entrepreneurship for women in the North Woods. And this is bringing some real talent to our area. The first speaker 2 weeks ago actually has national recognition as a winner of Shark Tank for the products that she brought to market. And we're working to identify what's that next level, what's the next thing that we can do to improve our impact on the North Woods. We've created a sub-team working on some strategy elements right now. We're going to lay a foundation for a board-wide strategy initiative as we kick off the new year. And in addition to everything else we're doing, we're going to figure out what the next thing is that we can do to quote, kick it up a notch. The whole point being that you now don't necessarily have to be married to where your work is and have to live there. You now have the opportunity more and more often through the ability to have high-speed broadband access to actually live where you want to live. And in fact, census data shows that almost 1/5 of the population lives in a rural environment right now, but almost half of us would prefer to live either in a small town or a rural community. Point is that we have a very rich target audience. We're obviously engaging with this audience, and if you love the North Woods as we do, you now have the opportunity to live your dream and have a career that you can pursue while you live full-time in the North Woods and live your dream. If you'd like to learn more, just go to vilascountyedc.org, and thank you very much.